Marilyn and Steve live diagonally across the street from us. They are turning 80s and celebrating their 60th wedding anniversary. Just last year, Steve took me for a ride in a Cessna seaplane. So, how do they stay mentally and physically healthy? And what's their secret to their long-lasting marriage? Let's hear their story. How do you keep healthy?
How do we keep healthy?
Yes.
Well, we are happy.
Yeah.
I think being happy and satisfied with your lives, we feel that both of us have contributed a lot to our society. I mean, me as a teacher and teaching lots of children to read. Well, both of us lived jobs that we loved. We didn't live and work in something that we weren't happy about. That's very important. And we both have practiced healthy eating and looking after being aware of your foods.
Really?
We did a lot of exercise. I did a lot of exercise. We don't eat processed foods. We cook our own foods like you do. You know, you're taking basic things and making it. And we always believed in sitting down to a meal with our children, not everybody rushing around and not ever having a family sit down. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
That was always important.
Yeah.
And we eat a lot of healthy vitamins. Steve can tell you about that.
Yeah.
The most important thing you've forgotten about is your thought process.
Oh yes, that's
Do
true.
you think healthy or do you think unhealthy?
Okay.
So
think-
your thoughts control your entire being. The thoughts control everything.
So your mindset.
Right.
Yeah, your mindset, your thoughts, what you say to yourself in your head. So you have to think healthy and don't complain. I got a sore knee today. Just ignore it. It'll go away.
Not to think negatively and say, oh, I'm stupid, I shouldn't have done that. This is silly, I'm a silly person, why don't people like me? Those are all very negative thoughts. And we don't feel that way.
Well,
How about the sleep? How many hours every day?
I can't.
well, 8 hours roughly, yeah.
That's good.
7 to 8 hours is pretty important. Some people need more and some people need less.
That's your secret to keep health.
Be positive,
Positive.
be satisfied with what you have, think
Right.
healthy. I mean, in spite of the fact that I had a bad accident, most people don't realize
Optimism.
I'm very optimistic. I was optimistic when I spent 3.5 months in the hospital. People couldn't believe that I would be optimistic. But I looked at it, okay, this has happened, but ahead of me, I'm going to be fine. So you have to look at not the negative, but that you're going to move forward and make progress, rather than I'll say I'm hurting, so I'm going to be hurting tomorrow, or why did this happen to me? You don't think that way.
No matter what happens to you, you can find the good in it or you can find the bad.
Yeah.
And some people just tend to go to the bad.
Yeah.
And then something else happens and they kind of bring it upon themselves with their negative thinking. And they have an accident, or they trip and they fall, and there's always something in their life, right?
Okay.
I believe your
Something will happen,
bring
no
that
matter
on.
good
Yeah.
or bad.
Okay.
Just accept.
Yeah.
That's good. Well said. I have another question. I always want to ask you, what's keep your couple good relationship over decades?
60 years and no.
Yes, a lot of couple don't last so long.
Well, have you ever read anything from Khalil Gibran? Khalil Gibran was a writer. He's a Muslim writer, but he says, be like two trees that grow upwards.
Yeah.
They're not entangled, but they're together.
Yeah.
So we have always never said, oh, I don't want you doing that. We've always had the freedom to do what we wish to do without the other person making you feel guilty that you want to do something that's not necessarily with your partner.
Kind of independence.
Yes. Yeah. Independent but together.
Don't control other people.
No.
We know some people, some friends in the past, that they have to do absolutely everything together. That wouldn't be good for us because we like to do our things independent of each other, and we are happy when the other person goes and does something that they like to do. It's not thinking, oh, I'm jealous, I wish they were here, And the same with parenting. Some parents, they live for their children. And we said we were never going to do that. Well, so the very first thing though, we were very lucky. We met at age 17.
Yes, that's
We
early.
were basically children when we met. And we got married at 20. And then we didn't have children until 30.
31.
So we had developed our own life, our own hobbies, our own
skill
friends,
set.
our own everything, independent of each other.
Okay.
So that was, I think, probably the biggest. If you look at, you go to a reunion, like her school reunion, and
My
you
60th.
look at 30, 40 people in the room, and the ones that met really early and got married early, they're still together. But the
And
ones
others
that
have been
didn't get
divorced
married-
twice, 3 times.
The ones that didn't get married right away, they had various boyfriends, girlfriends, various relationships. They finally found somebody and got married at about 30. They're practically all divorced by 45.
Well, the other secret is that you have to be able to accept when you're wrong, apologize when you're wrong, and don't let ego get in front of the issue and think that you're always right because you aren't. So you have to learn humility, really, and acceptance that the other person may be right and you aren't.
But
Right?
the other factor is that some people are fortunate in that they grow together. They grow spiritually. They grow, with other friends and with in their hobbies and their career. They grow in parallel. But some people grow opposite. Some people want to
They go
go
away
to
from
church
each
and be spiritual. Other people don't want to do that. So if there's all kinds of issues in a marriage, right?
Yes, a lot.
That can either be parallel together
divisive.
or diametrically opposed.
Best is parallel.